Alright, how's it going? So I am very tired today, so I'm probably gonna keep things pretty quick. Dread the boredom of your wardrobe. Come buy some unique fashions. The sale begins at 2 p.m. on March 15th. Okay. Oh, you're gonna be selling clothes. Okay, I get it. I'm a little tired today. Ranch couch. I think that's the one I already have. Or no, I think I have the cabin couch. I can't remember. I don't know. But I'm happy with the one I have. Let's see, your current layout, but the size of your house is wasted. Why have all that space? I think I'm using it pretty well. I mean, I could definitely fill out the upstairs a bit better. You know what? Maybe I'll do that today. I mean, I am tired. we'll see how I feel after I get, the regular chores done. But yeah. So today is obviously Friday. So I watched the newest episode of Severance with my wife. And it's the second to last episode of the season. And I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm not going to mention any specifics, but honestly, we were both a little bit disappointed by it. Which I think, like, it wasn't bad. I was a little confused by some of their choices, I guess, but overall, it really wasn't bad. In fact, it was pretty good, but I think it goes to show how well pulled off the finale and the second to last episode of season 1 were, because this season, season 2, the end of season 2 just doesn't even come close to what season 1 felt like as you got to the end. Did I? Yeah, I did. Okay, I got that all taken care of. Because season 1 had like a very specific thing that it was building up to, and like more kind of pieces were coming together to like bring everything to this really grandiose end that was eventually like forming together. Hey Pippi, how's it going? Hey, you changed your shirt again. All right, whatever. Jays, you say this every day, Pippi. And we go through the same conversation every day. I'm not avoiding you. Let's chat. I know I still need to get the thing from Maddie, so... Hey, guess what? I've started selling turnips under the table. There's a special offer just for you. I'll sell some to you for 3 bells each, swag out. 3 bells each? Oh... I know what they are. I would bet you they're spoiled turnips, but I'm curious, so I'm gonna buy them. Thanks, let's see, 100 turnips. Are you off your noggin? Seriously, are you just not even thinking, swag out? What made you think I'd really sell you turnips for that price? Oh, never mind. Okay. There's one thing I learned from that old sow, Joan. It's that you won't take a bell if you don't use common sense. Alright, well... Sounds good, Pippi. Yeah, so season 1 had a very specific thing that it was building up to, and like that all the pieces were coming together for as the show went on, and it had built this up so much that when you got to the second to last episode, like it was like I really like heist movies and stuff, and like video games and stuff too. Like I really love Payday 2 and kind of Payday 1, but I think Payday 2 is just better in a lot of ways for me personally. I just really like that sort of heist aesthetic and like all the planning that goes into it and how everything has to go perfectly and stuff. And that's really what season 1 felt like. It felt like a heist by the end. And it was cool because like that was such a subversion of what, you know, you kind of, well, I mean, I guess it wasn't really a subversion, because I think everyone sort of thought that by the end of season 1 they were going to have some sort of plan to try to break out, or, you know, maybe at some point in the series at the very least that was going to be the thing. But that's really like with everything the show was doing, that it at the end it really felt like a heist, like, you know, as if they were robbing a bank or something. And I loved that, and it was so fun, you know, to see everything fall together and have this one specific thing you're really excited about, like, and like, ooh, what's gonna happen when they manage to pull this off? And that was like, it was like an adrenaline rush that I haven't had watching a TV show since, like, maybe since I watched Game of Thrones. Because Game of Thrones does that really, really well up until a certain point. I still haven't finished Game of Thrones because I just lost interest. Like, season 6, I was like slowly losing interest, and then at the beginning of season 7, I was like, you know what, I'm just done. But it goes to and I think I've already talked about this before too. With like specifically with Game of Thrones, it really goes to show how well executed so much of that show is, that I managed to stick around with it for 6 entire seasons, because usually I will watch the first season of a show and go, that was pretty good, and then move on to other stuff and forget about it. And that is even if I get through the first season. Like, I can watch the first few episodes of a show and be really enjoying it, and then just completely forget about it and move on to something else. And so the fact that I think Game of Thrones is the only show that has been able to hold my attention, well, other than Futurama, but Futurama is my favorite show ever. Other than Futurama, Game of Thrones is the only show that's been able to hold my attention for more than like 3 seasons, maybe. And so Game of Thrones is a very good show. And Severance is the first TV show I've seen since that has like fully kind of captured that same feeling I had when I first, like, at certain parts of Game of Thrones where something had been built up to for a very long time, and finally when it happened, it felt like a massive bombshell or something like that. And not, like, another thing about Game of Thrones, it wasn't just good at like really building up to things over time. It was also good at doing things that were very sudden and unexpected, and like very sudden and unexpected, and had massive consequences in a way that didn't feel cheap. It felt like realistic and deserved in a way, which was really cool. I just really like good writing. I just think it's cool when I watch a show or read a book and, you know, everything just works, and it's very satisfying, you know? Shame that more things don't do that, I guess. That's a pretty cynical take. Maybe I take that back, actually. I just think media is cool at the end of the day. But yeah, that was what I really, really loved about the first season of Severance was it like at the end of the second to last episode of the season, it was like that was like the greatest cliffhanger I think I've ever seen in any TV show. And that leads me to the problem that I had with the second to last episode of season 2, which, I mean, you know, like, once again, it wasn't a bad episode, and I think by any other TV show's standard for me at least, I'm not saying, like, by any other, like, TV show's standard from the perspective of the people writing it, like, anyone writing a TV show has really high standards for what they are writing for it. They're always trying to make the best TV show they can. But from my perspective, from like the standard that I have come to expect from the writing that Severance has, it didn't quite meet that standard for me, because directly comparing it to the second to last episode of season 1, it really falls short in a couple of places. The main thing being that I don't know what I'm supposed to be excited for, really. Like, at the start of the episode, there were a couple things where, like, I was getting excited, kind of like I was, you know, at the end of season 1, where I was like, oh my god, where is this gonna go? Like, what are we going to finally learn about here? And then by the end of the episode, it sort of felt like nothing had really happened. Except, like, things had sort of happened. Like, things had happened in the episode, but nothing that really accomplished anything, I guess. Like, the episode felt like pure setup, except it didn't tell us what it was setting up for, and so now we don't know what to be excited about. So now we're just sort of sitting here like, okay, we know where all these characters are, but like, what's even happening? Like, I'm really missing that feeling I had in season 1. Where I'm just gonna go ahead and pull this upstairs, and this too. You know what? I feel like this will fit better upstairs. I'm really missing that feeling I had in season 1, where I was like, oh my god, this thing that I know for a fact is happening is finally happening. I'm so incredibly excited to see, like, what the consequences of this are. This is absolutely ridiculous and insane, and I love this show. And at the end of season 2, I'm just left feeling like, okay, question mark? So we'll have to see. Hopefully next week it sort of gets better, you know, and I start to understand more of what they were going for, I guess. And I think me and my wife sort of both agree there were some kind of questionable choices throughout the season in general that we don't fully understand. And my wife actually specifically said that she felt like for season 2, the highs were a lot higher. The highs were a lot higher, but the lows were a lot lower as well. And she was like, she said she wasn't really sure where the like baseline was, or the median was, I guess. And so I guess we're just gonna have to watch the finale and see what happens, and, you know, form our opinions from there. But oops, I didn't mean to do that. But anyways, I guess I'm done talking about Severance. I've been very critical of it, tonight, but I do think it's I still think it's a phenomenal show. I still think it's easily one of the best shows I have ever seen in my life, and I recommend anyone who hasn't seen it should watch it. So yeah, that's it, I guess. I will talk to you tomorrow.